Any other cons of like living with that many people?
It got super messy. It would get bad to the point where we'd be like, something has to happen. Like, this is almost getting dangerous.
They say college is the best 4 years of your life, and where you live and who you live with is a big part of what makes it so great. I'm Laura. I talk with students across the country about their college living experiences, the good, the bad, and the memorable, so you can learn from them and truly make these your best 4. This episode is brought to you by Rambler, a student apartment located in North Campus across the street from The Ohio State University. Rambler offers spacious floor plans ranging from studios to 6 bedrooms, perfect if you want to live with all of your friends or if you just want to live alone. Plus, their amenities are designed specifically for the Ohio State student, including not 1, but 2 heated pools, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a dedicated study floor, so you don't have to fight for a spot in Thompson, and my personal favorite, Daydreamer, an on-site coffee shop so you can walk downstairs for your morning coffee. I highly recommend checking out their website, ramblercolumbus.com. They have so many great resources for anything that you need to know about student housing. Plus, you can get your application fee waived by using the code BEST4. Again, your application fee waived by using the code BEST4. That's BESTFOUR. And today, I'm here with Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
How
Nice
are
to
you?
be here. I'm good.
Yeah, thanks
good.
for coming.
Absolutely.
And you are a junior
Yes.
right now at The Ohio State.
The Ohio State, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, don't forget the.
Yeah, no, that's important. I've learned that that's important. Cool. So where are you originally from?
Just outside of Boston, Massachusetts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you end up here?
I got pretty lucky. I played volleyball here, so there was a whole lengthy recruiting process that I
Yeah.
went through. But
Tell me about that.
yeah, so I wasn't going to play. I was going to play Division III, which I was content with. But then someone decommitted from Ohio State, and there was a spot open, and there wasn't really anyone else available. So the coaches were like, I guess you're around.
Yeah.
You want to come play here? And I was like, absolutely, I want to come play here. So
You said you grew a lot during
yes,
COVID.
like 8 or 9 inches during COVID, which kind of
crazy.
put me on coaches' radars, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how you ended up at Ohio State. Did anything else kind of draw you to the university?
My grandfather's from Ohio, which was nice. There's family around.
Yeah.
That as well, but mainly just the chance to play volleyball. And I always want to go to a big school like this, watch football games. So yeah, the combination of that stuff.
Yeah. So you ended up at Ohio State.
Mhm.
What was it like coming from out of state and moving somewhere new?
It was different.
Yeah.
The Northeast and the Midwest, I've heard it's different, but I've never been to the Midwest before I came to Ohio State. And I drove down my first time coming, so that was kind of a shock. It was one of the most boring
Yeah.
drives ever. It was just corn fields.
How long of a drive is it from Boston
It's
to?
like 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you drove that all by yourself? Or
With
did
my,
you?
with my mom.
With your mom,
Thankfully,
yeah.
yes. And she drove most of it. I just kind of slept the whole time.
So did you tour Ohio State before you decided to come here? Or you kind of did it blindly?
I went on an official visit, which was really fun. Like
Yeah.
the team, you kind of get toured around the facilities and you hear about the, academic offerings. And then, you get to hang out with the team kind of after hours, which was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of see what they're all about off the volleyball court. And that was like 36 hours landed. From when I landed to when I left, and right when I got on the plane home, I was convinced like this is the place where I want to be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ended up here, and I know you didn't have too much of a say in where you lived your
Yes.
freshman year, right? Where did you live?
I lived on Lawrence Tower, which is a repurposed hotel,
Oh, really?
way, way, way north on campus. Like when people refer to the two sides of campus, there's north, which is I'm pointing nowhere. But
Oh, yeah.
north is.
Oh, I think that's north.
Yeah, north.
North
and
that way.
South that
Yeah.
way. And there's kind of two groups. Some people love north, some people hate north, some people love south, some people.
Where do you fall?
I like South Campus more. I live on
Okay.
South this year, and it's just more fun. And North Campus is just so far away from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you lived in North Campus.
Yes.
Yeah.
About as far north as it gets. I think like
Yeah.
the limit of campus.
Yeah.
Northbound. Yeah.
What did you know about like living campus life before you even came to Ohio State?
Nothing. at all.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all. I got
Do you find that there's like good resources out there at all for students that are coming in?
I think there are. I had a bit of an unorthodox experience finding housing for freshman year. My coach was just like, hey, I put you in this dorm and this is where you're going to live.
Okay.
And I got here on the first day of school and I was like, all right, cool. Like, this is where I'm living.
Interesting.
But I know that there's a bunch of programs that, offer different housing. Like, there's scholars programs and there's honors housing and there's all sorts of programs where you can kind of choose where you live. But I think generally freshman year, you're randomly assigned.
Right.
Yeah.
And you in like a housing portal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So have you just kind of like logged in and there it was?
Yes. And I said,
That's
okay.
where you live?
Yeah.
And your coach chose it for you?
Yes.
And were you also assigned a roommate?
I was assigned a roommate on my team because we were on the same schedules. Wake up early for practice. We had similar classes freshman year, so that was a pleasant experience. And I know that at Ohio State, you're not allowed to choose your freshman dorm, but you can choose whether you want a random roommate or you can choose, I think, up to 3 roommates. You can be in a suite or you can just have one roommate. I don't know exactly, but I think it's something kind of like that.
So you lived in Lawrence Tower, which is in North Campus.
Yes.
How did you like living there your freshman year?
I just thought it was so isolated from everything because there's campuses on South, Park Stradley Hall, Smith-Steeb Hall, which are kind of right in the hub of what I consider campus, and those just seem like so much more fun. There's so many more things to do. Like, as a freshman, all you want to do is get out, explore, and just do stupid stuff.
Right.
But in Lawrence, I was a 20-minute walk from those dorms, so
it was
tough to kind of feel like you were on campus at all.
Did you know anybody that lived in those dorms your freshman year?
I met a couple people, yeah, and they loved it.
How did you make friends outside of your team your freshman year?
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with classes, and a lot of people from the Northeast come up to Ohio State.
That's interesting. Why do you think?
I think just the Northeast kind of converges at Big Ten schools like Wisconsin, Ohio State. For whatever reason.
Okay.
But yeah, I met a lot of people fresh from, neighboring towns and in my classes.
What major? What's your major?
I'm finance and econ.
Okay. So what school is that in, technically in the business school, or is that? Okay.
That's in Fisher.
So you're in Fisher. And Fisher is a pretty big school here, would you say? Yeah.
This class is the first 2,000 person Fisher class.
Oh, wow.
Admitted, which is admittedly maybe a problem. I don't really know what they're thinking behind the scenes.
I've kind of heard that they're kind of admitting too many students.
Yeah.
So
they had some freshmen in apartments this year, I know.
Which is interesting because you're required to live in dorms, right? Your freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they just didn't have any dorms left.
They're starting to just put people in apartments.
Emergency apartments,
Okay, that's interesting. So you mentioned that you felt a little isolated living in Lawrence Tower. Aside from that, what was your experience? Were there any positives, any pros?
I mean, it's a nice dorm. Like, it's a hotel. Your rooms are big. And you have your own bathroom, which is nice.
Okay.
I know some people really are scared away by that communal bathroom factor. I know that.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. I didn't run into that problem, which was nice.
So you had your own bathroom. It wasn't like you shared it with somebody, or did you?
With my roommate.
With your roommate. Okay, but no communal bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was nice. Other than that, that's the only positives. Our own bathroom.
What was the culture like there?
It was fun. I think I got pretty lucky with the floor I lived on. Everyone was pretty sociable, and doors were left crack open because people could just walk in and talk to people. And then that was nice because I think you're 20 minutes away from the nearest group of people. There's nothing around
the
Lawrence,
fun dorms.
so you just get close to people on your
There
hall.
aren't any other dorms or anything around. I guess what are the dorms up in like North Campus?
So it's Lawrence is kind of isolated, and then they just built Rainey, Bowen, Taylor, a bunch, like 4 groups of dorms.
And those are new.
Those are new, and those are north as well, but kind of closer to the High Street area, so more on campus.
Okay.
And those are nice. That's where our team's freshmen are living this year, so I've got to tour those rooms, and they're smaller than Lawrence, but they're nicer. Like, it's a brand new dorm.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the North Campus dorm scene. There's 5 or 6. I think I might be forgetting one.
And then so you have that, and then you have all the other dorms in South. Are there any other, are there central dorms? Are there west dorms?
A lot of the scholars programs, and I think maybe honors housing, are kind of scattered in between North and South. Those are much smaller. Those might hold, 100, 200 kids.
Right. How many people lived at Lawrence Tower?
40 people on my floor, 50 people on my floor like 500, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
small,
bigger dorm.
bigger
Smaller.
or smaller. I don't really know, if I'm being honest.
So I'm just curious, who would want to live in a North dorm?
I mean, if you're really, really, really smart and you're coming in with a bunch of credits and you're a Fisher student,
Yeah.
and all your classes are on Fisher, I guess that's the only
Yeah.
reason someone would live there, because it's a 5-minute walk to the Fisher campus. But other than that, honestly, that might be it.
That might be it.
Yeah. I mean, bigger rooms, if that's something you like, if you feel claustrophobic in those small dorm rooms.
Yeah.
So
did you have a lot of sophomores up there?
I think I'm not that I knew personally, but I know that sophomores live in Lawrence.
In North.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How did it go with your roommate? You guys were kind of randomly assigned to each other.
Yeah.
Did that go well?
Yeah, it was good. He was a really good kid, and we spent so much time together on the team. Like, we'd practice together, we'd head back to the dorm, probably take a nap, and then go to class. So I spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
And it was pleasant for the most part.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want some alone time, and there's someone in your dorm room. That happens at every school and every dorm.
For sure.
But overall, pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And how has your experience been just like being on the men's volleyball team at Ohio State?
It's cool. I never, pre-COVID, I had no idea I was going to be playing a sport at Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's nice football. It trickles down to us a lot.
So I did want to talk about
Yes.
the other athletes
Right.
and where they tend to end up.
Yeah. I think generally, I mean, football is like a religion here. Like, everyone from Ohio
It's
just
big.
converges in Columbus on game days. So they get some nice dorms.
Yeah.
You know,
what would you say those dorms are? What are the nice dorms?
Worthington and Neal.
Okay, I haven't heard of those two yet. Where are those?
Those are down south, and they're
Okay.
very nice. But I know they live there, and then some of like the high revenue sports, that's how I'll put it,
Yeah.
also live in those dorms. And then for the Olympic sports, that's what we call them. It's just non-revenue sports, like men's volleyball. We kind of are just dispersed throughout campus.
Okay.
At your dorms, where there's no like specified athlete housing, which I think is nice. It's nice to meet people that aren't on your team. I know that some
Yeah.
other schools do athlete housing, and it's like, I'm really not deserving of athlete housing. Like, we're just college students, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Right.
So it's nice to get to know people that you might not see.
So would you say that it's good to get like involved on campus if you live or if you're at Ohio State?
Absolutely, yes. Those clubs, it's daunting. Going to those info sessions, I was like, I do not belong here. These kids are a million times smarter than me. But just putting yourself out there and getting involved.
Yeah.
A lot of the friends I've made outside of volleyball have been through SCNO, and people I've met through mutual friends of people in SCNO. So
Yeah.
just putting yourself out there, getting involved, giving yourself something to do, because it was class, practice, repeat for me, which
Right.
wasn't very fulfilling.
Monotonous.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So just having something else on the side, and something that really interested me was super, super beneficial
that's
to my
great.
college experience.
Moving on to your sophomore year now, you
Yes.
lived at residence on 10th.
Yes.
Okay, tell me
Yes.
about that.
Res, I think is
Res.
Res.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll call it
Res
that.
is what we called it.
And that's still a dorm.
That's still a dorm,
'Cause
yes,
you're a
but it's
sophomore. You're
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but that's a bunch of 6-person suites.
Okay.
So 3 bedrooms, 2 beds, to a room, like a living area, a fridge, a bathroom, a shower.
Okay.
And that was the most fun I've had.
So it's
at
kind of
school.
like a mini apartment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I think technically a dorm by definition or by
Right.
title, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was so fun. I was with all the guys on my team in my
Yeah.
class, so we'd leave together every morning for practice, come back, do whatever,
Yeah.
play Xbox, probably skip class, but made some poor decisions, but that was so fun. Just being
it's
around.
college.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. In moderation.
Yeah, for sure.
Stupid things, yes.
Cool. So you mentioned that athletes get like first pick of dorms their sophomore year. Is that true?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Other than that, it's a lottery, right?
Yeah, and that's just total luck. And then the people who win that lottery, like Res and Worthington will fill up real quick.
So those are probably, you would say, the top
I think so,
two.
just because the rooms themselves are really nice.
And Worthington is south.
Yeah, that's right across the street from Res.
And Res is South too. So you finally got over to South.
I finally, yes. And
Yeah.
that was awesome.
And it was everything that you like hoped and dreamed it would be.
It was. It was just so much closer to everything. And it feels like campus. Like I look out of my window and there's like grass and there's people sitting outside, and in Lawrence you just never got any of that.
Do you know how the lottery works? It's totally random.
I think it's totally random. I think there's some workarounds.
Right.
Judging by these programs that you can apply to pre-Ohio State and, at your time at Ohio State, that kind of give you some push in that near that front end of the lottery, so you get a better pick.
Right.
But I think in general it's totally random. And
Yeah.
you might get screwed over and you might have to live in Dracket Tower, which is
what is
like
that?
the first dorm, I think.
Ever?
Like late 1800s, early 1900s it was built.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
Does it have AC? Because I've heard some of the dorms don't have AC.
I would be shocked if
it-
Dracket Tower had AC. Yeah. It is old. Really, really old.
Do you know anybody that's ever lived in like those older dorms?
No, I don't think they lived to tell the tale. They
didn't?
never made it out. No. And I've never
hilarious.
stepped foot in Dracket Tower, and I never will.
Where is that on campus? Is that also south or north or?
It's kind of smack dab right in the middle of campus.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's this total eyesore too. So
Oh gosh.
hopefully before I graduate they
Okay.
shut it.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
Petition to
Yes.
take down Dracket.
Dracket, yes.
Dracket.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. So you had a good experience living on Res.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious though, in your sophomore year, you probably had more classes at Fisher.
Yeah.
So what was that like, living south, but having a lot of your classes North Campus?
I mean, it was probably a 15-minute walk when I walked.
Okay.
I had no issue with that. I like walking around campus, people watching. And I think the long commute, I wouldn't even call it a long commute.
No, yeah.
Just the commute doesn't outweigh the positives of living on South. So I would 10 times out of 10 do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was like a 30-minute walk, I probably would.
So you went from living with one person to living with 5.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like?
My two closest friends were roommates freshman year, and I was always up in their room, and getting to live like directly with them sophomore year was so fun.
Yeah.
I like to consider myself a people person, so
Yeah.
having 5 people around all the time was just an opportunity for more fun things to happen.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And there's only one bathroom per room in res.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So that was annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
And my friends like to fancy themselves up.
Do they
before
really?
Going out.
Okay.
So that was annoying too. Yeah.
Any other like, I guess pros versus cons of like living with that many people?
It got super messy.
Yeah.
If there's any, I don't know how, I know the stereotype is that guys are pretty messy roommates.
Sometimes, yeah.
And they are.
Yeah.
And I am guilty myself. So
Yeah.
res, sometimes we'd come home and it would be an absolute pigsty.
Yeah.
And it was miserable. And
So how'd you guys like work on that? Did you have to like create a chore chart, or you guys were like, hey, we're all gonna just like clean one day, or was it just like you guys were like super like we're not gonna talk about this?
It would just,
One person's gonna clean it and not say anything.
it would get bad to the point where we'd be like, something has to happen. Like this is almost getting dangerous. How disgusting it is in this dorm room. So on like on a random Sunday afternoon, probably like once every month or 2 months, we just get our elbows dirty and
Yeah.
clean it up to the best of our ability.
Yeah. But other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah. That's good. Your junior year, which you're junior, so your current year, you moved into a house,
Yes.
South Campus. How did you find this house then?
We actually got pretty lucky because I know people have knocked on our door saying, "Are you releasing?" And I'm like, it's August.
So,
Like the
okay,
school
so
year.
recently people have been doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And people are like, "Hey, are you?" And they know I live in a house. They say, "Are you releasing?" And I'm like,
How long have you been in that house for?
I mean, I lived here this summer, but I've been in the
Okay.
house for, like, some guys have been in the house for, less than a month.
Wow.
And there's already people asking, "Are you releasing?" Because it's so.
Have you guys decided if you are?
We are. Yeah, we absolutely
okay.
are. We love the house. We were like, we're gonna wait to see if we really like living in this house.
Yeah.
And at least I do.
Yeah.
I think everyone else does. So hopefully
Okay.
we'll release
Yeah.
and live there again next year.
So people are already knocking on your door.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you guys get lucky with your house? Because it sounds really competitive to snag one.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky because our the seniors on our team, they all graduated, obviously, so they
Yeah.
kind of reserved it for us.
Like y'all specifically, a group of.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the sophomores in my class, we all wanted to live together.
How many people in this house?
There's 8.
Okay, 8
So
total, including
6,
you.
8 total, yeah.
Okay. And how many sophomores were on the team?
6.
Got it. Okay.
So 6 of us moved in, and then 2 non-volleyball
Okay.
guys live in the house. Which
How'd
is
you
nice.
guys find just like friends?
Yeah, just friends, just people we met.
Yeah.
But they're great roommates.
Uh-huh.
It's nice. Hopefully we're not too loud in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes, it is. So we will see. We will see. For so far, so good.
Yeah.
But we don't know. It's a pretty cool house. I don't know how the seniors got it.
Yeah.
Originally.
Why is it so cool?
It's right on South. It's right next to, some fun places on
Yeah.
campus. It's just like a big house. Got a good parking situation, a good front yard.
Yeah.
12th is a fun street. So we don't want to give it up. That's a good area for people.
So it sounds like location.
Yes.
It's mostly location.
Yeah.
Is it spacious?
I would say so. We all have our own rooms. Pretty
That's
nice
nice.
rooms.
And how many bathrooms do you guys have?
4.
4 for 8
8,
guys.
which
Okay.
isn't terrible.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's better than sharing it with 5 other
Right?
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Seems like a little bit of an upgrade.
Mm.
Yeah.
And just being honest, for anyone listening who's coming to Ohio State, it's an off-campus house. Like, it's a college house. It's not
Yeah.
very glamorous.
Right.
Um,
Would you recommend somebody coming to Ohio State to live in a house?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Don't pay all that money to live in Highline or Lumen, all those apartments. While they're nice.
Yeah.
It's just like you get one chance to live in a college house. You're gonna live in an apartment, after you graduate. But
Yeah.
the experience of living in a house, I think, is so fun.
Why do you think people live in the same place their junior and senior year? Because to me, it's like you could maybe live in a house, like an apartment your junior year, and then like live in a house your senior year or something. But it kind of seems like, no, you stay junior to senior.
I think it's super competitive to get a cool house, and
Yeah.
if you do get one, and you feel like you're missing out by moving into an apartment. And B, I just think, like, you come to Ohio State, like, you're obviously like probably into football, you probably like tailgating, you probably want a front yard.
Okay. So that's like a big pro, is like having a yard.
I think so, and just
In a
being in,
house.
because like all the houses, you wake up on a Saturday, you'll step outside, and all the houses are like playing music, tailgating before the game, and you just don't get that really with an apartment.
Do you know your neighbors?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
yes.
Are there like non-students that live in these houses?
Yeah, there's an older couple across the street who sometimes we have disagreements with.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, no, I feel terrible for them. I feel so bad. And
they're
they're
still
next
there.
door to. They're still there. Yeah. I mean, I think they secretly like it. It
Okay.
adds some excitement to their life, having to argue with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's that's like their entertainment now.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like community is a big thing. You know all your neighbors. You have a yard.
Yeah.
You can tailgate
Right.
in your yard. Cool. So you love living in your house. Everything's going great so far.
Yep.
Are there any cons to living in a house, you would say?
The houses are pretty disgusting.
Okay.
They're not disgusting. Our house is pretty disgusting.
Like old or like.
They're old, and they're old, and
Okay.
there's not a lot of upkeep that goes on. They just wear and tear keeps happening from
What is it like if something breaks? Like, is your landlord pretty responsive?
Generally, you can put in a maintenance request and it can get fixed, but
So it's like a portal
yes.
almost.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it's not like one landlord to a house. It's like it's a group
Yeah.
that owns a bunch of houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a lot of money that's getting
Yeah.
thrown around.
Yeah.
So if you want to be like a entrepreneur, the Columbus real estate market is.
Noted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like maybe it's a bit competitive now.
Yes. Yeah. No, there's a
Just,
whole
like,
bunch
snatching up houses.
a whole bunch of companies that kind of have a stranglehold on the college housing market.
So something breaks, you put in the resident portal.
Yeah.
And
Generally, yes.
it gets fixed pretty fast.
It gets fixed eventually.
Eventually.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
So maybe a con. So do you think living in an apartment, things might be a little bit smoother in terms of like cleanliness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the apartments I have been to have been so nice, and there's like
So you know some
pools.
people that live in apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the city, and I don't even know the name of that one. Maybe Highline on 9th, I think, is the name of it. And those are super nice. They have pools and all sorts of stuff.
Something you guys don't have pools in houses. Do you guys spend a lot of time like at pools?
Not really. I know that's just something that would never happen at a college house in Columbus. Having a pool in the backyard, it would be disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's way easier to keep apartments clean. If you're worried about your floor being sticky,
Yeah.
then you probably shouldn't live in a house because it's
So like cleanliness and maintenance might be a little bit better in an apartment versus a house. You mentioned that living south is more fun than north.
Yes.
So what are some of the more popular spots in south?
Yeah, a lot of people go south is close to a lot of bars, and a lot of people go to Ugly Tuna Saloona, which is a spot I've heard is fun.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the campus bars are like a 3-minute walk from South Campus as well. And I know those get really popular. There's lines, down the street when I walk by.
Yeah.
So those are the spots on South Campus. And it's totally preference. There's also bars way north.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's a lot of Ohio people. Like that's where the Ohio people kind of converge.
Okay. So it sounds like north might be for a little bit more like locals, like
yes, that's the
Columbus
feel.
locals.
That's the general feel, I think. I don't know what
Yeah.
people think.
Yeah. Cool. So it sounds like you're probably going to live in that house senior year, which is exciting. Kind of want to talk a little bit more about parking.
Yes.
So you didn't have a car your freshman and sophomore year, but you have a car now.
Yeah.
Your junior year. So how often are you using it? How often are you driving?
Every day. I'm driving every day.
Okay.
Because our practice facility is it's a drive away.
Okay. Where is that on campus?
That's over past, it's way north. It's they call it the athletic village. They're moving all the athletic facilities over there.
Do you find that athletes live north sometimes because of that?
I don't really know. I know some of the other teams live like on 11th. Some people live in the apartments like on 12th. So there's a lot of people south.
Yeah.
But I think those people probably have cars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think having a car is super nice for me because I'm trying to pay it forward. I got so many rides from upperclassmen when I was an underclassman, so I try to pay it forward and give our underclassmen rides. But I know people who have made it through all their 4 years without a car without much trouble. It's kind of just preference.
For sure. So do you find that a lot of people have cars here? Okay.
All 8 of us at our house have cars.
Okay.
Yeah. Which isn't necessary, but it is nice because we have 8 parking spots. We got super lucky in that regard.
If you didn't, what would you do?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea.
Because parking kind of sucks
Yes.
around Ohio State campus.
So I don't know what we'd do. We got super lucky.
Like street parking or
and just try to get lucky with a street parking spot. And if not, I don't know.
Do you think it's necessary to have a car?
No, not at all. I think it's nice.
Like you obviously would struggle getting to like your practice facility, right?
Yeah.
But if you weren't a student athlete, do you think that you would have needed a car?
I don't think needed, but having a car is really nice. You just have this sense of freedom. Like I can go do whatever I want. And when you're underclassmen, you're in a dorm and you feel confined to where you can walk.
Right.
So having a car is definitely nice. If you don't want to walk 20 minutes to Fisher from South, then having a car could be nice too.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary at all. It's totally your call. Like Ubers are $1 for students incoming and who might not know about it now. Lyft has this pass or this partnership with Ohio State.
Is it Uber or Lyft?
Lyft, sorry.
Lyft. Okay.
Lyft.
Yeah, Lyft.
And from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., Lyfts are generally like $1 to $2, which is so nice.
That is great.
And utilize that.
And you have a parking pass, right?
Yeah.
And what are there's like different tiers levels. Yeah.
I have the C pass, which I think is the most general. And I don't think personally you need anything other than that. It gives you access to handful of lots around campus, north, south, east, west. There's lots on all, on all four corners.
But it doesn't help you anywhere else around Columbus. Like there, you're kind of like.
No, it's kind of just baseline. Can you park on campus?
It's a lot of street parking here, I feel like.
Yeah. And I don't really know what the whole deal with street parking is.
Yeah.
But like the parking lots you see around campus generally are not that hard to access.
Okay.
Yeah, with usually most of them the C-Pass works.
Would you recommend getting the C-Pass then if you have a car? Okay.
Yes. And if you're made of money and you want to park in the garages, and you can upgrade to, I don't even know what they're called, like the G-Pad. I don't know. But if that's something you're interested in.
But you don't think that's like, you don't really need that?
No.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently?
I mean, I guess I would have just pushed our coach with the knowledge I have now, obviously, pushed our coach to put us somewhere south. Not that I regret living in Lawrence, but I think South Campus is just more fun. If you guys have one takeaway, it's that live on South, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I try to live on South.
Aside from that, is there any other piece of advice that you would give an incoming freshman coming to Ohio State?
Definitely branch out. It's super easy on a big campus to kind of confine yourself to one dining hall or confine yourself to just your floor or just your room. You got 40,000 people on the school with you. So like, go out and do something. It's so easy to get stuck in that class, home, repeat cycle. And, that's just not really what I think college is for. It's about finding yourself. Like, I didn't know anything about consulting. I joined that organization, and now I think it's, what I want to pursue. So just taking that leap, going to that info session that you're nervous to go to is the best advice I have, because, again, it's Ohio State. There's 40,000 people. There's absolutely something for you here beyond just class.
Awesome. Cool. And then last question is, do you think that this is shaping up to be the best 4 years of your life?
Absolutely. Yes, no question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and being on the podcast today and sharing your experience. This was awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.